What's going on, everybody? Sean Pierce Johnson here for this week's edition of Stompbox Saturday, and on the stomping block today is the Boss TR-2 Tremolo, a simple to use, great sounding tremolo that will get you all the classic tones and maybe even a few extreme ones if you play your cards right. Now, tremolo, we've heard it before, just like at the top of the video. You've heard it on a bunch of classic surf tunes, the Ventures, the Shadows, anything from the 1950s or 60s with a guitar on it, chances are it was there. Well, that's because most of those Fender amplifiers that those guys were playing, big, powerful, loud guitar amplifiers, came with a built-in tremolo, which unfortunately was mislabeled Vibrato. So let's get this straight, people. This is tremolo. Tremolo is a volume amplitude effect, which basically simulates the sound of somebody cutting your sound in and out of the signal at a varying point in time and varying depths. Now, what I got at the top was pretty deep sounding, but you can get it pretty subtle to where you almost don't notice it. And it's a really cool effect to use, and you can use it for a bunch of different applications. Now, this pedal is really easy to use. 3 knobs on it: rate, depth, rate being the speed of the tremolo, and depth being how much of it you hear. But the really cool thing about the Boss tremolo is the waveform knob at the bottom. Now, what that allows you to do is counterclockwise, you're going to have more of a sine wave. Think it being just a little bit smoother. And then clockwise gives you a square wave, being a little bit more drastic and a little bit more pronounced in the effect. Cool thing about it is it's variable, so you can dial in any sort of variation in between, and you could even go straight up on the dial and kind of have a unique little blend of sine and square wave to kind of give you a really funky little tone. So of course what you heard at the top of the video was mostly a sine wave, so let's go for something just a little bit more extreme, and I'll go ahead and kick on some distortion, and let's up the rate a little bit, and let's really hear this effect and see some of the weird, wacky kind of tremolo effects that you can get. So you can kind of see what I did there is I used the pulse of the tremolo to kind of dictate the rhythm that I was going to play that little riff in, and next thing you know, there's a song out of it. And that's the cool thing about a pedal like this, is that it inspires you to create, inspires you to explore, and it drives you to find a new sound. Now, of course, I also said we could get something pretty subtle. Now, this is a trick that Joe Bonamassa likes to employ. Now, he's got a full-tone Supa-Trem, which is another great tremolo pedal, which is going to be another show. But he runs that kind of slow and with a less depth, so it's not that noticeable when you play. And quite frankly, you almost wonder if it's there. And he uses that all the time. Yeah, it's on all the time he's playing. So even when he's soloing, did you hear that? Because I'm having a hard time hearing it. I know the pedal's on. Right now, I can hear the tremolo effect going in the white noise in my headphones right now, and I can see the light is on, but it's hard to hear it. Well, that's kind of the cool thing about subtle effects, is they just add some kind of lushness and largeness and artificial space to your sound to kind of fill up spots in the frequency spectrum and in the sound of the whole band or the recording that you would otherwise just not notice. But adding them in there just adds kind of a richness and a bigness to your tone, which, of course, us guitar players, we're always looking for the big tone. The never-ending quest for the perfect tone can sometimes be completed with the strangest of boxes. Well, of course, we haven't quite gotten to the strange tremolo effect, so why don't we go ahead and get something a little bit strange. I'm going to up the depth all the way. We're going to go for a square wave and get something kind of fast going on here. And let's see if we can make something sound a little synthy. Wow, just getting the groove of that, and you got a nice little dance number going on there. Okay, maybe it's not as cool as some of those DJs out there can make their dance music, but on the other hand, the guitar is actually an instrument, and a laptop isn't. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the Boss Tremolo. I really love having it as part of my arsenal. It's great to throw on clean guitar, distorted guitar. Any way you slice it, it's an awesome sounding pedal. I love having it as part of my collection. Hopefully you guys will add a tremolo pedal to your collection and be able to experience the magic. And I will see you guys next week for another Stompbox Saturday. And until then, cheers.